Fantastic.
Boresha Biz, and I can see the cash flow part.
Very good. And how is the view on this camera?
The view is great, but either way it keeps showing this end.
Grabbing that.
Yes.
That. Good. Let's make a start.
Okay. Hi viewers, welcome to our YouTube channel. We usually discuss everything matters businesses, especially on cash flow management, business operations, improvement, and we have Patrick with us. And
Hi.
today we have a very important and vital topic. We will be looking at net cash available process, how to review your net cash available process and prepare for the rest of the year. So Patrick will give us a context of what we have covered before and what we are covering today.
Does your business have enough cash to run and operate right through to the end of this year? We're around the middle of the year now. But maybe you're asking, will my business have enough money to run the operations until the end of the year? Or will I have more money than I had planned or less than I had planned? Is this the year that you had wanted to make a lot more cash in your business, but you don't know if you will? Well, the objective of today's live, and it's live, so you can ask questions, you can talk to us, communicate with us. The objective of today's live is to discuss how to be sure you're on track business, and hopefully even grow your business so that you're much better off by the end of this year. You can be able even to buy assets for cash or pay off your debts if there are any. So you'll be in a much stronger position compared to the year before. And we market Boresha Biz. This is an app that helps you manage your cash flow in a very precise way. It covers all the cash could be going. So we call it Boresha Biz, which make your business better. So karibu sana.
Thank you, Patrick, for that introduction. So, as you've heard, we have Boresha Biz. You can check it on Google Play Store. Search the word Boresha Biz, or on our web, we have a web app, web.boreshabiz.com. You can access Boresha Biz from those two areas. We are going to talk about it even more as we continue. So, Patrick is going to give us a real life customer story in the context of what we are discussing today. Yes.
Okay. I had know a business owner. They were running their business as usual, but they kept on getting this issue. This they have to pay, yet they are growing in their sales. The sales are okay. So the question was, what's happening? The business is making sales, and everybody is active, everybody is busy selling, but somehow there's not enough money to pay the obligations or even to finance something new. So they were at the same spot every time, and it was always a struggle issue of money. Okay, so they took on our app, Boresha Biz, which is a web app, also mobile app. And from then on, they were able to see every place where the money of the business is. That is, the entire working capital area of the business is visible. And they were able to know when it's growing, when it's shrinking, or how to make adjustments so that they're not getting into a difficulty of lacking money to pay for their obligations or even to buy assets as the business needed to grow. So Boresha Biz brought that picture, brought light to exactly all the places where the money is in the business. And more than that, they were able to see the growth of the liquidity, the growth of money in the business. So they were able to see, oh my goodness, so it's possible to be on top and even control your growth. It's even possible to set a benchmark of how much you want to raise your cash, liquid cash by, so that there's always money, there's always enough to keep the business running and for growth. So that is the situation they were in, and that's how they were. After adopting Boreshabis, they were able to make to deal, even to prioritize payments, and they were able to even reduce. They could pinpoint the expenses that were not necessary, the purchases that were not necessary, or the exact amount of money that is needed for this the stock they want to buy, the exact money without reducing the cash flow of the business. And more than that, they were able to make better decisions. So if you are in control, you also have the visibility, then you are also able to make better decisions. And that's the situation they were in. They now have a smooth process for growth.
Yes.
They can now make decisions that will keep them on track with a particular path for growth of their vital asset, that is cash or money, let's say funds. They were able to track the vital asset of the business known as cash.
Yes. And if you relate to that, give us a thumbs up. If you do not relate, which should be relating to that. We have a poll, and the question is, how often do you know exactly how much cash your business has available? How often do you know exactly how much cash your business has available? Every day, every week, only when making payments, or you're not sure? Share with us the live chat, and we're going to interact and engage with you. You can also share your thoughts, your questions, your expectations, and we're going to engage with you as we go on. Now, we're going to look at the importance of a median net cash available process review, why it matters at this particular time for our businesses. And for those who are engaging, I can see a few of you saying hi. So you can share in more details with us. Now, Patrick is going to guide us in this particular session. Yes, Patrick.
Yes. So the question is, do you have a process for tracking the cash flow of your business? My understanding is that profit is considered more important than cash, but it should be the other way around. Cash is what buys everything. It's what pays for everything, and it's what you get paid by customers. When you sell something, a service or a product, that's what you get paid by. So why shouldn't cash occupy a more important position than even the profit? The truth is, cash is king. Cash is king. It is what you need to buy everything, to pay for everything, even to grow your business. You are going to require cash to grow your business. But there's no better place for that cash to come from than your business.
Yes.
So your business is the one which should be growing its cash so that it can not only meet its obligations, but it can also buy whatever is needed to grow it. Maybe an asset, maybe a new vehicle, maybe to pay for bigger premises, maybe to add more stuff. They all need money. So you may be making profit, but your cash is always challenged. It's always challenged. So that struggle is what actually makes you realize that cash is king. Cash is what will move your business forward. Well, yes, you do need to make profit, because profit can grow the net cash that you have, because it brings in inflows of profit. But where should you be focused? You should be focused on the cash position. So do you have a process for measuring where your cash flow is, where your net cash, or even the cash that you have? Do you have a process? Because you should have a process for managing and even seeing on a daily basis the cash in your business. So, for instance, the process should include seeing the inflows of cash, which usually is from sales of services or goods. You should also be able to see what is taking your money, the outflows, and even be able to budget the outflows of cash so that you can find out that balance. You can find a balance that doesn't drain too much money so that there's not enough for other things or for some of the payments. So you should have a way of seeing that. And the other thing is that you should have a way of controlling any leakages of money. If there is money, something is being sold at a bigger discount or at a discount when it shouldn't be, you can quickly see that not enough money is coming because you gave a discount or one of your team members gave a discount, or because there's no control on the discounts that are given, or some new expenses have come in. Say from beginning of the year, maybe there are some new expenses which have come in. Some of them were probably started by yourself because of the strategy you have taken. You've decided to adopt new product lines, and they are consuming more outflows, more money. They're costing more than your regular stock, or you are paying for much more stock than you have been before because it seems that whatever you're buying is in demand, but probably you're spending more than you should. You're buying more stock than you should. Alternatively, there could be some stock which hasn't moved since the beginning of the year. So what really makes you start thinking through is measuring the cash flow in your business. So what process do you use? You may even know that there's some areas you need to take your business, but you can't. So you've got priorities for taking your business, adding new lines, or even expanding to another market space. But you need to know what your cash flow is going to be able to hold or to pay for and what it can't, so that you can make the right decision. Is it time to make that transaction? Is it time to pay even that loan that you've been holding? Or is it time, should you wait for that loan for a few more months until you accumulate enough cash to pay off that loan? Or until you accumulate cash to buy that asset for cash instead of taking another loan? Also, before you take a loan, another loan, how much is it going to cost you? How much is the interest going to cost you? Because that interest is part of the outflows. So the advice is that if you didn't have a process for measuring the movement, especially what you are left with, the cash that remains in the business, if you didn't have a process, this session is supposed to help you start that process and find out what that process should do so that you can run your business more comfortably up to the end of this year and even remain with a healthy surplus or remain with a few more assets purchased by the end of this year.
Yes. Thank you, Patrick, for that. Now we know why a media net cash available process review matters at this particular time. And we have a question for you. Has your business made good sales but still struggled to pay bills? Tell us what happened in the live chat. Has your business made good sales but still struggled to pay bills? Share with us what happened, and we'll be glad to hear from you. Now we're going to look into a recap of what is a net cash available process and what does it entail and what is the net cash available. So Patrick, you may guide us in this.
Yes.
Mhm.
The process I've mentioned, the net cash flow process, is the process that helps you to answer a few questions.
Mhm.
The first one is, what is the cash position of my business as of now?
Mhm.
What is the cash position? Is it net? of what you expect to pay, say, this week or
Mhm.
this month?
Yes.
What is the position of cash in your business? Well, the position of cash in your business, not necessarily all the amount of money. It's not all the amount of money that you have or you have in the various wallets, bank account, and so on. You have to take into account how much is expected to leave your business this month for paying for rent, paying the salaries, and so on. So, what is your net cash flow position? What is the net available? It's really the available money that you can draw, you can use to buy more stock or whatever it is.
Mhm.
What is the amount? What is the position? That question needs to be answered. And the only way you can answer that question is to have a process that shows you exactly what the net funds available are, or we call it the net cash position, what it is. Also, it is the process that helps you to know you will have enough money. It becomes so much easier to do it month. So that process to do it on a monthly basis. That is how business is. You have to manage your business from month to month. And in order to do that, to be sure you've got enough for the month, is you need to be able to have to answer that question. What is my position today? Can I see it? Is there a visible, is there a map of how much there is? Also, what is there a surplus? Is there a surplus of money more than what is required to pay the outgoings or the payments that are required this month? Is there a surplus? Okay, and if there is a surplus, by how much? Or if there is a shortage, what, by how much? By how much are you short of money to meet the obligations which require cash this month? So that process should be able to give you those answers. Also, the next step, which I'll describe, what should I do? What should I do if there is that surplus or if there's no that surplus? If the net cash surplus is positive, or if there is a shortage of cash, what are the steps I should take? Okay, so net cash available is all about the funds you have in the business less the amount of payments you need to make this month. So it is the net position.
Mhm.
It's better to work with the net position, because if you are considering the money without what is expected to go, you will be unable to meet the payments when they fall due. There could be a loan installment which falls due, say, in the next 2 weeks. It's still in the same month. So you need to look at the whole month. Outgoings, what are required, and what do I have now, so that you can start figuring out if you have enough for the rest of the month.
Yes.
The next step of a cash flow process is that process is not a one time, it is daily. And if you start looking at your cash position daily, you will be in control of your business daily, and you will be controlling the most vital asset daily. That is the most vital asset, which is cash. So you'll be in control of your cash daily,
Mhm.
controlling the very most vital asset of your business daily. There is no better place to be than
Mhm.
that you can control what the business needs most on a day to day basis. And because you can control, that means you can make good decisions as to what to do with the money, or what to do when that money is not there or there is a gap. So you can be able to make good decisions that are in line with growing the business profitably and in a stable way, and less stress on the way, less stress that you may not have this amount ready, you may not have this by a certain date. So less stress, less struggles, because you are looking after the most vital asset and you are on top of it. And you can even ask where every single item of currency, every amount of money went, and be able to question it, be able to question decisions, and be able to make better decisions. You can actually turn around decisions which were just being made without an understanding of the cash flow position.
Thank you for that, Patrick. Now we know what is a net cash available process. So as we go on, have that in mind. And do you regularly monitor the cash available in your business before making spending decisions? Do you regularly monitor the cash available in your business before making spending decisions? Share with us. Is it a yes? Is it a no? Share in the live chat session. And you can also share your other questions and thoughts with us. Now, here is the main session, or is the important part that I urge you to note down. Grab a notebook and note down. This is the step-by-step process of reviewing the net cash available process and even the position. Patrick will take us through this section.
Yes, I would hope that you have been planning on certain level of cash being available in the business.
Yes.
And I hope you had started the year or earlier, the months before this. I hope you had thought about that and even made some kind of plan or projection of how much money you want your business to be having at all times towards the end as the year progresses. Now, if you did, that means you had a plan. You even maybe had, you can call it a benchmark, an expectation. So that expectation is what we want you to find out right now in the middle part of the year. Are you meeting that expectation? Are you exceeding or are you falling short of that expectation? If you are falling short on that expectation or even exceeding it, there are the next steps to take. So my question is, if you did not have a plan on the cash flow situation as you go and continue through this year, will you start? Because you need to start. You need to start thinking about it, because once you're thinking about it, you are actually reducing the risk of cash flow problems. You are coming up with a plan. You're becoming proactive about being at a certain level each time. And if you are proactive, you will take other steps which help you to achieve that target. So the plan, what is your plan? What had you aimed to achieve? So we need to compare what you had planned to achieve with what you are achieving now. So you need to find out how much is available. Are the inflows of cash matching those outflows that you're paying? Is the net position of outflows as you had hoped? If it isn't, the next step is actually to find out the causes. Are there periods when money is short or tighter? During those last few months of the year, were there periods which were tighter? And the next question will be why? Because if you are already noticing those things, you're actually building your understanding of your business environment or internal business activities in readiness for even another year to do better, another year to be in better control, another year to actually aim higher. So our customers delaying payments, this is something that can happen quite often. The customers themselves might be suffering cash flow problems or challenges because of the costs that they have to deal with, rising costs of transportation or whatever it is that's affecting them. So are they themselves having a challenge in paying you? This is why you need to do this review. You need to find out what is happening right now at this time in this middle part of the year, so that you can prepare yourself for the rest of the year. And certainly you want to know whether you are able to progress safely, to run your business safely for this month, next month, the month after. So that is why we say this is a good time to find out, are you on plan? Are you where you expected to be? Or even if you didn't have a written plan, Are you at a level that you should be? You feel that you're in a level that you should be, in a good spot, you're in a good way, things are flowing. Are you in that good place? Or what is it? What is the issue? So those are the questions that you should be asking yourself. And as I said earlier, the best measure of cash position is the net position. That is the funds you have available less the outgoings, or the funds which you need to pay this month, or which are on call, which can be required by anybody who has provided that fund, those funds. We call it, it's money that can be called by whoever has provided it to you. So the net position is the funds available less the money owed and that could be required to be paid this month. That is the net cash flow situation, or the net available funds for your business. So aim at that, and you are holding on to a very good measure for managing and moving your business forward.
Yes, and viewers, share with us what have you learned, or what are you learning so far from the beginning of the session to this point. Share with us what have you learned, what have you written down, and as you do that, which of this affects your cash the most? Which of these affects your cash position the most? Customers delaying payments, increased business expenses, poor sales, or you're not sure. Which of this affects your cash position the most? Customer delaying payments, increased business expenses, poor sales, or you're not sure. Share with us. Step number 2, understanding what has caused these results.
Yes, it is when you see that you're not in the right place, or you have even exceeded where you want to be. That is when you start looking for why. You need to ask why. You need to find out why. Why are you where you are? What is the reason or the cause of this situation you're in? Because if you don't establish the cause, then you can't deal with it. You can't either maximize or capitalize on it or exploit it, or you can't take a step that reverses the situation if it is a challenging situation to the cash flow. So, yes, the question is what has caused that situation? And then you find that there are likely causes, but it's important to identify the real cause or the root cause. Could be customers are focused elsewhere. They don't have the interest in the kind of product or the service that you're buying, or that you're providing. Or it could be that sales are generally lower at this time of the year. Or maybe even the time of the year, maybe the weather, it's not conducive for high sales of whatever it is you are supplying. Or maybe the costs of various things have gone up so much, the market, or the market has not reset itself. Nobody is ready to spend until there is the signs that things are getting better. Things are getting better. If they're not getting better, they still hold back. So you need to find out the root cause. It could be customers are taking longer to pay. So they are generally taking, if they used to pay on the spot, they're asking for credit now. So that credit that they've asked for has a direct impact on your cash flow. If people, customers are asking for a discount because a competitor is providing a discount, that is again a direct impact on your cash flow if you're going to give the discount too much. Or it could be just a new competitor has entered the market. So the customers are now divided between yourselves and the competitor. So sales have been affected negatively. Those have a direct impact. So That could be the root cause. Identify the root cause. It could be purchases, the supplies that you're buying for stocking your business. Maybe they've been adjusted with an adjustment of 5% or 10%. So you're paying more for the same number of cartons of stock or the same number of inputs that you use for the service you provide. Maybe you're a service provider. So the inputs that you use to deliver the service have now gone up. So that additional amount of money that you're spending to get the same number of inputs, to provide the same number of services, that additional money has an impact on your cash flow. On the other hand, maybe you have opened into a new market and now your sales have gone up. So that could be the cause, that the fact that you identified a market which required a particular service or a particular product and you've entered it on time, you're at the right place at the right time. That is a very possible cause. It could be the cause of your increase in cash flow. So the thing is to identify the root cause, because when you work with the root cause, then you're not guessing. You're not calling a symptom a cause. A symptom is different from a cause. The real cause is what you should be after, because if you know the real cause, by the way, the real cause could be right inside your business. It could be that your stock is no longer moving. There's dead stock. The dead stock in your business has accumulated so much that it's not giving you cash. You can't sell it. You're not selling it. So the cash position is reducing because more and more of your stock is not moving. We call that dead stock. So the thing is, if it is dead stock, you know it is dead stock. You can go into your shelves or go into your warehouse. You can find out that dead stock. How much is it? What is it? And start. The next part will be how to deal with the causes. The next step would be to deal with the causes. So there you are. Identify the cause. You're much better off if you have found the cause.
Yes. You've heard, if you don't find the cause, there's no way you're going to take an action, because you're taking actions on causes that you don't know about.
Exactly.
So, which of those factors that Patrick has mentioned has affected your business the most this year? Which of those factors that you've had, which of those causes? Share with us in the live chat session, and we're going to engage with you. We're going to give you advice. Now, step number 3, actions to take for the rest of the year.
Okay. Yes. Once you have identified the cause, the next step is to take action. Many times, a business owner, identifies what the problem is, what the cause is, but they don't take the action, either because they were distracted or they were too busy with another area of their business. So they didn't do it. They didn't act. They didn't actually act to reduce or to mitigate that problem. So my advice is, do not procrastinate. You know the problem, you know the cause, do something. Take an action. You're much better off taking an action, provided you know the cause. You're taking an action to deal with that cause. Provided you are there, there's a match between the action you're taking and the cause you're dealing with and the problem that you identified, then it is much better to take an action than not to take an action, or to overlook it and give something else a priority. Even if something else might be a priority, do please come back to dealing with the cause that you have identified, which is working in a particular way to affect your cash flow. So, how do you take action? Usually, the action is to remedy the cause, or to reduce the cause, mitigate the cause. Because, for instance, If customers are taking longer to pay, you need to come up with a plan. How are you going to deal with customers so that they can pay without delaying?
Mhm.
There could be a way you can make sure you can have a relationship that enables them to understand. Maybe they may. You just have a frank conversation. You can't buy more stock if you're not getting paid, or if you can't be paid, you can't continue servicing them. You can't continue servicing because you can't finance the actions that are required to be able to supply that customer.
Yes.
So it's important to take a very practical approach,
Mhm.
because you can't sell something and not get paid.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not paid, there's two things you're losing. You're losing your money
Mhm.
and also the profit you
Yes.
should have made. So you need to just decide, look, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to reduce these customers who buy this level to cash. They have to pay cash to get their stock. Or if indeed they must have credit, then maybe you could decide you're going to tell them that, look, if you're taking anything on credit, I'll charge a surcharge. There will be an extra amount on top, 2%. If you are not paying immediately because you need to finance your business, you're going to charge an extra 2%. Or if there was a discount, you will not give any discount at all. You need to encourage them. You need to encourage them. You need to even come up with a system of reminders, a reminders process, so that when a customer sees that they've been reminded that something is outstanding, generally they may not ignore it. It's harder for them to ignore it if they are being reminded. There's an SMS or there's something like that, or a call. This is a reminder that there is something outstanding, and unless we get that one cleared, I can't supply you. I can't continue supplying. I won't be able to supply you. Pay the outstanding amount first. So that is a common problem, especially now. More and more customers are struggling with their own cash flows. So they will generally want more credit, more outstanding, more of your money is at risk of being held by those customers. So you need to come up with a solution and act on it. Do not accumulate, and customers should not load more and more money that they owe you. They should, in fact, just understand that if they don't clear it, then there is nothing else they can do. The relationship is at stake. They can't be able to get your services.
Yes.
So, also, an action might be to start looking at the timing between when you pay certain payments and when you receive certain inflows of cash. So there's a better timing between when you get paid and when you pay something. Instead of paying for an input before you have been paid or before you have sold a certain amount of product, you start coming up with a mechanism, a decision that no, you can't make this other additional purchase unless you have sold this amount of stock or you provided this number of services. There could also be the possibility of saying you can't buy at this level of stock anymore, because that takes away money from the business, and the business is generally uh, challenged with having enough money to pay for other things or to buy other things that they need, or even to pay for essential payments. So if it is sales which have decreased, then it's important to find out what to do. What steps are you going to make so that you can either sell the products which are in demand or which are affordable? Which steps are you going to take? Don't ignore it. Don't say, yes, business is generally down. Take some action. Do something. What are you going to do to keep cash coming in so that you match the cash or you exceed the cash that is going out, because you must keep running. Or which new products are you going to start selling, which can continue to give you some cash inflows? Or which products can you combine so that the slower moving products or stock can move a bit faster together in a bundle with something else which is moving faster? So you need to make a decision. If there is slow stock, can you liquidate it? Can you sell it? Can you sell it at a discount so that more of that money comes back into the business and you can use that money to buy the stock that will give you more ready cash inflow. So also prioritizing payments. There could be some payments you can give higher priority than others. So this is a time to try and correct that situation you've seen. This is a time to take such decisions. What am I going to concentrate on first? Also, your processes. Maybe you will see that it's time to update your process so that you're in a better picture. You can see the situation better. So it's also an action to take. Can you now start seeing, getting better visibility of what's happening to your cash flows? That is, in fact, a very good step that you will feel you will never need to stop. Once you start it now, you will never want to stop it. And there's a reason, a very good reason for that. That's because a business will never stop requiring that vital asset circulating in the business.
Yes.
That is cash. It will never stop requiring the flow of money in the business. So this could be a time to start something which will be great for your business from now until the end, until generations to come. Generations will learn from you. In fact, your future generations will learn from you how to manage cash flow. There couldn't be a better gift than to actually inherit a business and the skills or the systems to be able to manage the cash flow in that business. So these are actions you can take. You could also, if you are reviewing your cash flow once a month, that needs to change, or you could decide it needs to change from once a month to twice a month, or to once a week, or hopefully to daily, because the situation may call for that. And I believe cash flow should actually be monitored on a daily basis, especially the net position. And there are many reasons why you should do it daily, because, for instance, you want to see the growth. You want to see the growth so that you start preparing for the next step for your business to take advantage of that growth. So it is so important. It could be so that you are able to get away from debts. You can be able to pay your debts. So if debts, in fact, debts could be the cause of the situation, the challenging situation in cash flow. So what the action might be, pay off the debt one by one, starting with the most expensive, the one which requires the most amount of interest, or the one which, if you miss one, it costs so much that it will even leave us off. So one action could be, now you want to get serious and start paying off these debts. And you sit down and decide which one is the one you must pay off. In fact, you may come up with a plan that every month you pay off a certain amount of the outstanding monies that you owe. It could be a very good action. And the reason why it's important to pay off debt is that it gives you enough understanding of how to take the next step. Could be staying out of debt, could be the next step, or how to now do the opposite. Accumulate to get out of the position you are, and instead accumulate what you could have been paying and use that accumulation for something else. So that is why it is important to take action. You get stronger. In fact, by many times, you get many times stronger
Yes.
just by taking action and not just letting things glide or things just sort themselves. In fact, things don't sort themselves. The cash flow point of view, nothing sorts itself.
Yes.
Cash flow is something to be managed,
Mm-hmm.
to identify the causes of its poor performance, and to come up with the plans to correct them. So these are some of the things. Non-essential spending. This could be the time to make a decision. What is essential to spend on and what is not essential? In fact, you may have been having more premises than necessary. 2 premises, because you want to, it felt good to have two premises. It felt like you had a big presence, but this might be the time to find out, is it actually necessary? Can you do better? Instead of having 2 premises, how about 1 premises? And then you add an online sales channel. So you're actually doing the same volume of business, but in 1 premises. So your outgoings, the payables in that 1 premises are less than both for both premises, yet you have increased your sales because you've added the online sales channel. So these are the kind of actions you should take. And like I said, if you know the cause, then please address the cause head on. Do not let it wait. Do not let it solve itself, because it will not solve itself. Do not leave it to another time. If you are still running the business, if you still have your money in that business, you've invested money in that business. So there you are. There are many solutions once you know the causes. There are many ways to come up with a solution, but at the end of the day, you need to solve, or you need to mitigate the causes. You need to make sure they are under control. If there was leakages in the business, oh, there's no better time than now to close the loopholes where money is getting lost. I mentioned about discounts. Could be staff are giving discounts. Close that loophole. If you don't intend to have discounts, or you can't even afford a discount on that range of products, close that loophole. Or if somebody accounts for money that they've taken to go and do sales, or to go and look for stock, and can't account for it on time, and it takes a week for him or her to account for it, these are the loopholes that there is no better time to close than now.
Yes. And now to this point, the question I want to ask us is the last question.
Yeah.
We might have another question,
Yes.
but this is the question. What is one change you will make after today's discussion to improve your business cash position? What is one change you will make after today's discussion to improve your business cash position? You can share with us in the live chat session. And if you will be seeing this video after we went live, you would share in the comment section so that we can continue engaging with you and learning together. So share with us. And now we're going to look at systems. Where
Yes.
do systems help us
Yeah.
in the context of net cash position?
Yes. The truth is, you need to act now. Act now to be in control of your cash flow. One of the ways, if you didn't have a system, or if you didn't have a way of systematically doing it, a good way is to adopt a system. There are services can handle and even show you visibly what's happening. That is what Boresha Biz does. This is the time to move to a better way to control your cash flow, and knowing your net cash available in real time. These are calculations. There's a lot of data that has to be taken into account. There's even the budget an ability to budget into the system, they explain or itemize the budget that is required for the month. You put that in, and it will always be telling you, always be reminding you, this is due, that is due, or you can't withdraw this because it's going to be due and payable this very month, or when a loan is paid, or how much of a loan is outstanding, so that you can think and have the courage to pay it off. So Boresha Biz does all that for you. It processes all that data in a cost-effective way, but the most important thing is that it has been designed to do all that for you. So maybe you didn't have a process.
Yes.
Boresha Biz not only gives you a process, it gives you a system. Or maybe you had a process, you had your own process, but it's cumbersome. It's not easy to remember everything. There's a lot of data, and basically you are doing everything, or you have quite a lot of responsibility in your business, including managing staff, managing customers, looking for new markets, dealing with the customers one-on-one, or understanding even what the market wants. As you do all that, Boresha Biz will be able to take that load from your shoulders and keep you in the picture on your screen, real time, from morning till evening. The operations, the activities that are taking place, how they're impacting on your net cash position, the purchases that you can make comfortably of stock, and even a priority list of the stock you can buy with that available money, and even which is the slow stock. What can you do? How can you liquidate it? How can you discount it? Or even when new prices of, of your inputs or your stock, incoming stock, if new prices have come in, it is able to be, you key in the new prices, and it will adjust the prices for you, adjust the markup or the price, the selling price, and even tell you how much you are holding of stock, so that you know whether you are continuing to overstock or whether you are maintaining a stock which is affordable, which is efficient for your business to generate enough cash and keep growing, not only maintaining the payments that you're making and you're required to make, but also growing the cash flow. You also quickly see which loan is costing you more, and you quickly see as you accumulate, as you grow. In fact, you can set a benchmark of the sales of the net cash position you want, and as you achieve that, you can prioritize what to use that surplus for. It's much easier when you're seeing everything visibly on a screen. You can also track the day-to-day performance or week performance, which week is doing better, which week requires more working capital or more money available for payments, which week has less expenses, so that you can know what you could do during that week, or what you can't do during that week or that month. So in short, systems do a lot more for you. They help you because they process a lot more data than you could do when you are the one who is doing so much more. Boresha Biz is very cost effective. Every month, it's a much lower subscription than having a much more cost effective than not taking action or not data. If you don't have that data, that information in front of you, you can't make decisions. So it is cost effective. It is time to step up your business so that you can control the most vital asset business. The one that I said is king, and that is cash. Cash is king, and Boresha Biz will help you be on top of cash.
Yes, continuously and in real time.
Yes.
And now we're going to the last session. And before that, Boresha Biz, as we mentioned, access it on Google Play Store. You can also access it on web app, which is web.boreshabiz.com. If you forget that, just search Boresha Biz, going to appear. You can also visit us on our website, you'll see more details. So we have a session on questions and answers. So if you have questions,
Yes.
do share with us in the chat session. And if you'll be seeing this after we've gone live, past the live, share with us in the comment section.
We can continue this conversation
Yes.
even after. And yes, a brief recap. Profit automatically equal cash.
Yes.
You can make profits, but still be in a very tight, challenging situation with cash. So you need to look at cash as a separate entity, in an asset, a vital asset. Managing your cash position is the most effective way to be on top because it tells you exactly how much money you have available. But also, take action. Find out the root causes of why you're where you are and take action. If you don't take action,
us with questions and your expectations. Share with us feedback. We have finished our media business review series. So share with us so far, and you're going to appreciate. So